In the hive of grey and white, drones buzz in orderly lines, each one a clerk in the cubicles. There worked Greg, middle-aged and balding, a wife and kids in the suburbs, his life a series of forms and reports, consumed by the rituals of office life. His necktie always tight, his wings clipped, and the morning coffee, the only thing breaking the monotony. Every day, 8 to half 4, he tapped away at his keyboard, click, 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 and the buzzing of fluorescent lights overhead. Memos rained like paper confetti, each one ever more meaningless than the last. The office queen, a figure of sex and authority, declared that Greg work overtime. Deadlines loomed, tasks piled up, and with little time for reprieve he continued on. Then, one morning, he woke, followed the cues into the tube station and stood waiting for the train, and suddenly he heard the sound of birds, looked up and saw a family of starlings had built a nest in the corner where a joist met a beam. His eyes blinked and he shook his head in disbelief. Then the sound of the tube shook him from the reverie. He arrived at the office, but something was different. His spirit slowly shifted by the absurdity of it all. With broken fingers and a hard-on, Gregor clicked and clicked. Trapped in endless loops of productivity, he began to smile. The office queen, sharp and predatory, noticed his dreamy look with keen eyes and aimed to devour him. More reports, she demanded, running her hand across his shoulder and stopping at the base of his neck with a soft flit of her fingers, indifferent to the toll it took. Each hour passed with the fluorescent lights, a buzzing reminder of his future looming. He felt the office air growing thin as he remained trapped by the cubicle walls. Greg closed his eyes and imagined the starlings gliding through endless skies over green dales, then the rains coming hard upon the soft earth. He twitched with unfulfilled desire. Then it happened. He could no longer type. His fingers wilted, his eyes blank and dry. His co-workers, buzzing with indifference, hummed along not noticing. However, today was the day that Greg transformed. Coming for more reports, the office queen entered the cubicle. Heels clicking in time, more reports she demanded. Suddenly, Greg stood, and with a snap of his handkerchief, he stepped and twirled and took the queen by her hands and spun her round. They swayed and danced to the unheard music. He moved gracefully and suddenly dipped her low, her dark hair reaching to the floor. Then Greg planted a wet kiss upon those red lips of hers. He lifted her, spun her back in place, her heels clicking again. He turned, waved goodbye and walked out the cubicle forever.